feuding with her family, the Quentin Tarantino role she had to pass up, and the real reason one of her arms is longer, Jennifer Lawrence has come a long way from fighting rats for food. Jennifer Lawrence is a Hollywood A-lister now, but her journey to get there didn't have an easy start. She revealed during an interview with 60 Minutes, "I dropped out of middle school. I don't technically have a GED or a diploma. I am self-educated." Despite missing out on a huge part of her childhood in the pursuit of acting, Lawrence is at peace with her decision, telling 60 Minutes that she doesn't regret the choice to drop out in any way, saying, "I wanted to forge my own path. I found what I wanted to do, and I didn't want anything getting in the way of it." The Telegraph noted that at 14 years old, she decided to pursue her dream of being an actor by moving to New York. Luckily, her risky choice paid off, as Lawrence told the publication. "I got discovered, or whatever you want to call it, and I loved acting and knew it was what I was supposed to be doing and thought I could be good at it."
And then I didn't work for a long time, but I walked around for so long going, well, I got a call back on the first thing I auditioned for, so I'm pretty good.
Although it can't have been easy leaving her education behind, Lawrence was steadfast in her belief that she wanted to act, and her leap of faith most definitely paid off. Moving to New York was a lot less glamorous than it sounds. Lawrence wanted to pursue acting in the city, but the future Oscar winner's living quarters were pretty shocking. Lawrence had to share her apartment with rats while she tried to make it as an actor, which was every bit as gross as you might think. She told NPR, "I didn't really have any money, so if a rat had eaten my loaf of bread before when I first got there, I would have been like, ew, and throw the whole loaf of bread away. But eventually I was like, God, I'm not going to be able to afford bread, so I started just cutting around the hole that the rat ate. I got to the point where I was literally sharing food with a rat." While it's hard to imagine Lawrence sharing her food with rats, it's clear that she was dedicated to being taken seriously as an actor. The Joy star actually revealed that her parents quickly realized just how much their daughter wanted to work as an actor when they saw how awful her apartment was. Lawrence was catapulted to superstardom in her role as Katniss Everdeen in 2012's The Hunger Games, based upon the book by Suzanne Collins.
"Did you guys know that I was in The Hunger Games? Did you? Yep, that's me."
She reprised the part in 3 sequels, and according to Lawrence, playing Katniss was physically taxing on her body, especially when it came to archery. Speaking to NPR in 2015, Lawrence revealed, "It totally changed my body. It was so crazy when I went back for the fitting for the second movie for Catching Fire. My shoulders were 2 inches broader, and my right arm is 1 inch longer than my left arm. Permanently, I guess." Lawrence certainly shows an impressive level of dedication in all of her roles, and it seems as though she also enjoys learning new skills. Lawrence has worked with some of the world's most renowned directors throughout her career, but there's one in particular who tried and failed to book the Oscar winner for one of his movies. When Quentin Tarantino was casting 2015's The Hateful Eight, he apparently reached out to Lawrence in the hopes of booking her in a lead role. Tarantino told Entertainment Weekly that he was a huge fan of hers, and Lawrence even met with the Pulp Fiction director, but unfortunately they didn't end up working together on that occasion. According to Tarantino, it was unlikely that Lawrence was ever going to take a role in The Hateful Eight to begin with. He added, "She was just doing me a courtesy to see me, I think. She was doing Joy, she had to do all this publicity on the Hunger Games movies. There was just no way in the world that she was available." Ultimately, the role went to Jennifer Jason Leigh instead of Lawrence, and Tarantino seemed to be pretty happy with the decision since he admitted that he considered Lawrence a little young for the part. We can only hope that Lawrence and Tarantino have the chance to work together in the future. Politics divide a lot of people, and Lawrence's family started to experience that divide during the 2016 election, which saw Donald Trump win the presidency. During her October 2022 interview with Vogue, Lawrence discussed the aftermath of those differing politics and the steps she'd taken to mend fences. She explained, "I just worked so hard in the last 5 years to forgive my dad and my family and try to understand. It's different. The information they are getting is different." However, the actor struggled to get past the differing political allegiances of some of her family members.
So glad to be home. Unlock the door.
No politics. None.
Ultimately, Lawrence wants to stand up for the issues and causes she believes in. She told Vogue, "I can't with people who aren't political anymore. You live in the United States of America. You have to be political. It's too dire. Politics are killing people." During her September 2022 interview with Vogue, Lawrence revealed that she has experienced 2 miscarriages during her life, the first of which occurred in her early 20s. After revealing that she had planned to get an abortion, Lawrence told the publication that the pregnancy ended in a miscarriage. Her second loss occurred while she was filming Don't Look Up, when she had planned on keeping the baby. Vogue also revealed that Lawrence underwent a dilation and curettage procedure following her second miscarriage, which involves removing tissue from the uterine lining. While speaking to Vogue, Lawrence reflected on her pregnancy in the light of the overturning of Roe v. Wade, saying, "I remember a million times thinking about it while while I was pregnant, thinking about the things that were happening to my body, and it would occur to me sometimes, what if I was forced to do this? Alongside her acting work, J-Law also scored an incredibly lucrative endorsement deal when she was signed by Dior. Working with the iconic fashion house has only strengthened Lawrence's image, but as a young actor, she was apparently surprised to be offered the wonderful deal. She told Harper's Bazaar, "I could not believe it when they signed me. They fly me to Paris and get me hotel rooms, and I'm like, are you kidding me? You don't have to be so nice. I couldn't renew my contract quickly enough."
When did I get here? Is this mine?
In 2015, Lawrence opened up about working with Dior while shooting a campaign for the brand's new lipstick. She told The Hollywood Reporter, "To me, the Dior woman is playful, spontaneous, and free. Shine, don't be shy means this is your moment to radiate and feel good and confident. I know nothing about being shy." As the face of one of the most recognizable fashion houses on the planet, Lawrence just further proved that she was an in-demand star with a bright future ahead of her. 2016's Passengers is a sci-fi thriller about two people who are accidentally woken up before their spacecraft has reached the colony on which they're hoping to start a new life. Jennifer Lawrence stars alongside Chris Pratt in the film, and although their star power alone should have made the movie a success, it wasn't. Basically, reviews were less than stellar, with many suggesting that Pratt's character was exceedingly creepy, leading to an unsatisfying flick.
Did you wake me up?
But if Lawrence had listened to her close friend Adele, then she might have swerved the project altogether. Reflecting on her decision to appear in Passengers, Lawrence told the New York Times, "Adele told me not to do it. She was like, I feel like space movies are the new vampire movies. I should have listened to her." Although the movie went on to gross more than $303 million worldwide, it never really recovered from the bad reviews it received, making it one of Lawrence's biggest critical duds to date. If only she'd listened to Adele. As one of the most famous people in the world, Lawrence occasionally travels on private jets. However, one particular flight almost put Lawrence off flying altogether. During an interview with Vanity Fair, Lawrence revealed that in 2017 she was flying on a private jet from her hometown of Louisville, Kentucky when both engines failed in the air. Lawrence said of the terrifying experience, "We were all just going to die. I started leaving little mental voicemails to my family. You know, I've had a great life, I'm sorry." When a runway started coming into view below, Lawrence prepared herself for the worst. Somehow, the pilots managed to land the plane without any casualties, but Lawrence remains traumatized by the horrible experience.
"I'm not the best flyer."
Thankfully, the actor survived, but it's hard to imagine what it must have been like to live throughout something so shocking. Although J-Law rarely reveals much about her relationship with husband Cook Maroney, she finally confirmed how she'd met the art dealer during an interview with Vogue in late 2022. Per the publication, Lawrence was introduced to her now husband by film director Gene Stupnitsky, with whom she worked on 2023's No Hard Feelings. Apparently, Lawrence needed some advice from someone in the art world, and Stupnitsky had Maroney's phone number. According to Lawrence, she was pretty much smitten with Maroney when she first met him, telling Vogue, "I was like, do you know how gorgeous you are? I didn't say that, but I was like, is this a joke? Is this a prank?"
He's really hot.
During an appearance on the Naked with Kat Sadler podcast, Lawrence opened up about her relationship with Maroney, saying, "I just met Cook and I wanted to marry him. We wanted to marry each other. We wanted to commit fully." Lawrence has been married to Maroney since October 2019, but before she met her husband, Lawrence was linked to several celebrities, including Coldplay's Chris Martin, actor Nicholas Hoult, and director Darren Aronofsky. According to the American Hustle star, she doesn't necessarily look for something in particular when it comes to dating. When asked by Harper's Bazaar in 2016 if she had a type, Lawrence explained, "I don't think so, because patterns are the work of the devil. If I think about all of my ex-boyfriends, they are all so uncomparable." Lawrence has also been forced to navigate the dating world as an incredibly famous actor, meaning that most people recognize and make assumptions about her. She went on to tell Harper's Bazaar, "I can feel people sometimes are intimidated by me, but I try to do the best I can to offset that. There is zero reason to be intimidated by me at all, but I also understand it."
Well, I just generally, once I enter a public place, I become incredibly rude. I turn into a huge asshole.
In February 2022, it was reported that Jennifer Lawrence had given birth to her first baby. Later that year, Lawrence revealed during an interview with Vogue that the child was a baby boy named Cy, taking his name from one of her husband's favorite painters, Cy Twombly. Lawrence has kept many details of her family life a secret from the press, but she did open up to Vogue about what it was like becoming a mother for the first time, saying, "The morning after I gave birth, I felt like my whole life had started over. Like now is day one of my life. I just stared. I was just so in love." Perhaps most importantly, the actor is fiercely protective of her son's privacy, as she told Vanity Fair. "Every instinct in my body wants to protect their privacy for the rest of their lives. As much as I can. I don't want anyone to feel welcome into their existence.